We're going to start in about a couple of minutes. Some people are joining, so we're going to give people an opportunity to join. I like to start on time, but I'm just waiting for everyone else.
Just finishing up on OPWDD, be on in a second.
Hi, Christina. I'm so glad to see Senator Gillibrand's team here.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
William, we've got a cell phone number waiting to go in.
Okay. Let's see who we've got here.
I wonder if that's Will.
Hello, mystery cell phone. Well, maybe they had the wrong meeting. They left.
Okay.
For those of you who are just joining us on Zoom or on Facebook, welcome. We're so excited to have you here for our Interrupt Racism announcement. We're just giving folks a few more minutes to join us before we tell you about this exciting project. So thank you for your patience. All right, good afternoon and welcome. My name is William Rivera Bloodworth and I am the Digital Engagement Officer for the Urban League of Rochester. And I'm so excited to be able to talk with you today about Interrupt Racism. But before we get started and I introduce our president and CEO, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Urban League of Rochester. So the Urban League of Rochester has been open for the duration of the COVID-19 crisis. We wanted to share our mission with you today. The mission of the Urban League of Rochester is to enable African Americans, Latinos, the poor, and other disadvantaged persons to secure economic self-reliance, parity, power, and civil rights. We have a three-pronged strategy for pursuing this mission. First, ensuring that our children are well educated and equipped for economic self-reliance in the 21st century. Two, helping adults attain economic self-sufficiency through good jobs, home ownership, entrepreneurship, and wealth accumulation. And third, ensuring our civil rights by eradicating all barriers to participation. If you'd like more information on the Urban League of Rochester, our more than 25 programs, or you're needing a specific kind of assistance, please don't hesitate to email us at info@ulr.org. Also, we are proud supporters of the US Census. If you have not yet responded to Census 2020, please do so. The results of the census help the government make decisions about funding for different kinds of programs, including those at the Urban League of Rochester. You can find out more at 2020census.gov. You can follow the Urban League of Rochester on various kinds of social media. You can like us on Facebook at UL Rochester, and you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Urban League Rock. That's Urban League ROC. And we also are on LinkedIn at UL Rochester. Now, we're about to tell you a little bit more about Interrupt Racism today, but I also want to make sure that I share up front the hashtag for our new campaign, hashtag Interrupt Racism. Now, you're likely to hear us making reference to asking all the people in your circles, your school, your household, your friends, did you get the link? When you hear us talking about that, we just want you to know that we've got the link interruptracism.com that will redirect you to the project that we're about to share with you. So now it is my honor and privilege to introduce our president and CEO, Dr. Shawnelle Hawkins. Dr. Hawkins, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, William. I'm so excited. I have been waiting for this day to announce Interrupt Racism. This is our launch. So today, in collaboration with Rochester Institute of Technology, we announce Interrupt Racism, a collective impact equity platform. Interrupt Racism creates an opportunity to uplift all voices from the community and create a pathway for healing. The Urban League and RIT cannot do this work on our own. So therefore, we're inviting the community to help our community heal, help our community change, help our community move forward. We want your ideas on how to get there. The Urban League and RIT act only as facilitators, not the leaders. You are the leaders of Interrupt Racism. The Urban League's role is that of a conduit to chronicle your voice and your lived experiences and then facilitate conversations. Consider the Urban League to be the key holders of this community suggestion box. Let me tell you a story of how Interrupt Racism was born. William, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, let me tell you the story of how Interrupt Racism was born. So I had this idea that I thought was really crazy. And on Sunday, I shared it with Dr. Jefferson, who works for the University of Rochester. He helped me to add more details to the idea and to create next steps. Later on that day, I shared it with one of my dearest friends, Dr. Joshua Fagley at SUNY Brockport. He added more to the ideas, and then I shared it with you, William, and then you created that visual. And by Monday afternoon, we had shared the idea with Robert Benz and Hank Rubin of the Frederick Douglass Initiative, then Andre Godfrey of Entree Computers, who said to me, "This sounds like a community-wide suggestion box." By the end of the day on Monday, this Monday we're talking about, we had shared the idea with about 50 people. I wanted to make sure that I shared the idea with trusted people, even my own children. And people were inspired by the ideas and contributed more and more. On Monday, I shared the idea with Dr. Keith Jenkins at RIT. By Tuesday morning, he had sent me an email and said that RIT not only was on board as a collaborator, but was sending in a team of researchers and communication experts to help the Interrupt Racism campaign. Now that's exciting. Still on Tuesday, I told Carol Borsar of Goodwill of the Finger Lakes, and by Wednesday, Carol Borsar and the team of Goodwill had agreed to include 2-on-1. Then I told my friend Will Wallace, who brought in Barb, Zach, Tony to collaborate with their story. And today is only Thursday, and together we launched a full plan. Look what we did in 4 days. 4 days we did this. Together, we interrupt racism. Together, we create healing. Together, we strategize. And together, we launch Interrupt Racism, an equity platform. So let me explain how this works. You go to the website, urbanleagueroc.org/interrupt racism. Now we want to hear from everyone. Students, individuals, waitresses, the unemployed, grandparents, teens, essential workers, parents, construction workers, dog walkers, beauticians, estheticians, laundromat attendants, everyone. No idea is too crazy, as I've already demonstrated. Now on the site Interrupt Racism, there's an answer tab. You click on that tab to answer the survey. The Interrupt Racism team will collect all the responses between now and July 5th, then synthesize that data and share a report with the Urban League of Rochester and the community. Now, recognizing that we do have a digital divide, the team at Goodwill of the Finger Lakes, thanks to my good friend, Carol Borsar and Jennifer Lake, the CEO, they will support the Interrupt Racism website with their full support of 211 Lifeline Hotline to help ensure that every individual is heard. Now you can call 211 or text 898-211 to schedule a time to complete the survey over the phone in an effort to capture your thoughts and your ideas. See, we're thinking about being all-inclusive and ensuring everyone's voice is heard. Additionally, on next Wednesday, thanks to their story and G-Force collaboration, as a participant, you will have the ability to video your story or your observation related to racism. Your story will then be included with the data that the Interrupt Racism team will synthesize. All voices will be heard. The hope is that what we learn will help us to begin our journey towards healing and moving forward. The community report that the Interrupt Racism team will unveil will be a comprehensive list of ideas to resist racism and become more anti-racist. And most importantly, it's informed by everyone. It is important that not only the people that are currently at the table, but we want to make sure that there were new voices at the table. We want to make sure that the table is bigger with more voices. So I am so excited about next steps. Just think about, we did this in 4 days. So just imagine what we can do in the next 60 days if we all do something. So I hope that you will get involved, that you'll be a participant, and most importantly, that you will share the link. We need as many voices collected and heard so that we can inform a strategy to create a better Rochester and so that we can begin our journey towards healing. So William, why don't you tell us more about next steps?
Certainly. Thank you so much, Dr. Hawkins. So as we mentioned before, we do have our website live now for our Interrupt Racism project. You have that link again on your screen, but it is urbanleagueroc.org/interrupt racism. You can also get to our platform through interruptracism.com. Now I'm going to show you the website in just a moment, but just to recap some of what Dr. Hawkins shared. On our website, you'll be able to share specific strategies and suggestions for battling instances of racism that you have observed in our community. Beginning next Wednesday, June 10th, you'll even be able to record video of your own personal stories of racism and prejudice that you may have seen in Rochester. Additionally, starting tomorrow, you'll be able to download a print copy of the survey and mail your responses into the Urban League. Now, this is in particular designed so that all of our service providers that are listening at the moment will be able to support those who might be on the other side of the digital divide and still making their voices heard. As Dr. Hawkins mentioned, thanks to the generous support of Goodwill of the Finger Lakes, we also do have support through 211. So you'll be able to call 211 and get additional support for submitting your answers to Interrupt Racism. So let's take a look at the Interrupt Racism platform itself. I'm going to take us to the Urban League of Rochester's homepage. So here we are on the Urban League of Rochester homepage. Again, you can get here by typing in interruptracism.com. You'll notice on our homepage, there is now a huge banner front and center for Interrupt Racism. So you can click anywhere on that banner to get into the platform itself. And there is also a link in the top left corner to go to Interrupt Racism as well. So let's go into the Interrupt Racism website. On the Interrupt Racism website, you will see front and center a link to learn more about our project. There you will also have access to a copy of a press release that gives you more details on our project. You also have a link to return to the Urban League of Rochester homepage so that you can learn more about the great programs and services available through our organization. At the bottom, you will see 3 tabs: Answer, Record, and Donate. We're going to go to the Answer tab first. When you click on Answer, you will see the Interrupt Racism survey. The first thing that we ask is, are you answering on behalf of yourself or on behalf of an organization or group? And what we mean here is sometimes if you're part of a group or there's a particular organization that you're working for that you have observed a particular problem within, you're welcome to share that information here. Next, we ask you for your zip code. The reason for this is that we want to be able to work with RIT and their faculty to give us the most detailed and up-to-date information for all of the different areas in the greater Rochester region. Next, we get into the questions that specifically relate to issues of racism and prejudice in our area. You're first asked to identify what is the specific problem related to racism that you feel needs to be addressed. The more specific you're able to be, the better we're able to help in the future. Next, we ask for your feedback on what are some specific strategies that you suggest will address the problem that you answered in the first question. We also ask you to identify who do you think is best to lead the change that you recommend. Now here, this could be a specific organization, a group, a department, or even a governmental office or official. Whoever it is that you believe will have the power and the resources to best lead the change that you want to see. We next ask, what can you as an individual pledge to do to support positive change? Again, please do be as specific as you can. And our last question before we get into contact information and demographics is, do you have a personal experience or observation that demonstrates the problem that you shared above? Just a reminder, starting next Wednesday, you'll be able to share a video of those personal stories. The remainder of the survey page here asks you for contact information and demographics. If you are interested in receiving a copy of the final reports that the Urban League and Rochester Institute of Technology produce from the Interrupt Racism project, please do make sure you include your email address here. For now, let's go back to the Interrupt Racism page. In the middle, you will see the Record tab. This option is where you will be able to record those videos of your personal experiences with racism. This is also where you can go if perhaps you don't have specific strategies or recommendations, but you want to make sure that your voice is heard as far as your lived experience in the Rochester area. For the moment, you will just see a message that video recording functionality is not available until June 10th. So let's return for now to Interrupt Racism. The last tab that you will see on your page is a donate button. It's so important that we are able to continue to get financial support to continue working with the data that we are able to get out of the Interrupt Racism project. And last, you have buttons at the bottom of your screen here attached to all of the Urban League of Rochester's social media platforms. So please do engage with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and use the hashtag #InterruptRacism. Dr. Hawkins, I'll turn back to you.
So first of all, thank you, William. You did such a great job of sharing more information and more detail on the site, and I appreciate that. I want to just remind everyone that if you feel that maybe you don't have a strategy or you don't have a lived experience, you want to give in a different way. You are free to donate. Your support is going to help us to continue to mobilize. So I encourage you to give. Additionally, I want everyone to know all voices need to be heard, not just African Americans, not just people of color, all voices. So please share the link, and that's what we need. Everyone to share the link so that we can ensure that every voice is heard so that we can develop a collective strategy. Because if we all work together on racism, we can eliminate racism. And so I want to stop for a moment and take time for questions. I know that there may be some questions, but I want to make sure that we get the commitment from the community. And I want to say there's still time. William, can you go back to our collaborator screen? Because I want to show that we have a group of collaborators, but it's still not too late to add and join in. So if you have some ideas on how this could get bigger, how to help grow this, first of all, we welcome you. But I want to thank our current collaborators. We can't do this without the support of Rochester Institute of Technology. So thank you to Dr. Keith Jenkins and RIT, the president of RIT. You all made the decision in one day. You knew that this was important. So thank you. I'm most grateful to Goodwill of the Finger Lakes, thankful to G-Force and their story. I'm thankful to all the individuals that listened and wanted to add more to how we can make the Interrupt Racism activities, our platform, how we can make it successful. So thank you for supporting Interrupt Racism. It is a collective impact platform that addresses systemic racism, equity, and power. We can do this work together. So let me stop and ask for questions. William, do we have any questions on Facebook?
At the moment, it looks like we don't have any questions through Facebook, but I do want to encourage anyone that's on our Zoom call, feel free to unmute your microphone to ask a question aloud, or you can type your question in the chat box on Zoom or on Facebook Live. We'd love to help you learn more.
Most importantly, please share the link, and the message is customizable. What's most important is that you share the link so you can take this link back to your organizations, back to your group, back to your family, post it on your Facebook page, but begin to encourage people to complete the survey, to go to the link. That's what we want. We want our community to inform next steps. This is how we get to healing, but all voices need to be heard.
Absolutely. Dr. Hawkins, I've got a question in the Zoom box. Once the data is collected, how will this be utilized to begin change?
Great question. So first of all, we'll get the information back from the Interrupt Racism team. The team will share that information to the community. What we hope is that other voices that were not at the table will emerge from the data that we hear. You see that the way this idea came together in 4 days, we're hoping to get more ideas, share those ideas. And we hope that there'll be multiple disciplinary opportunity for everyone to participate. So what I mean by that is that it's not just going to be social service groups. We'll have businesses, we'll have all types of supporters in multidisciplinary areas, businesses, small businesses, will have social service workers, churches, individuals, fraternities, sororities, all groups, your Facebook group. Everyone is looking at the data and they say, this is what I can do. This is what we can do. This is what we could do. And collectively, we will make impact in Rochester to eliminate and reduce the impacts of systemic racism here in Rochester.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Hawkins. Another question, is it okay to share the link with people outside of the Rochester area?
So that's a great question. The work that we're doing is very specific to Rochester, but if there are people that are from the Rochester area and have lived experiences and have ideas on how we can impact racism here in Rochester, absolutely, we want that.
Absolutely. And one thing that I would add as well is that because the survey itself is asking for the zip code of the respondent, that will also help us better understand if this is someone that maybe is from Rochester, but now is no longer living here, or it's in a particular area of Rochester. With the support of Rochester Institute of Technology, we're hoping that we'll be able to get a better sense, almost like a map, of where the most difficult challenges of racism are happening in our area. Another question for you, Dr. Hawkins. How do we get the message to the people that need it?
That's a great question. Share it. So share it on your Facebook page, all your social media platforms at work. Encourage and inform your supervisors, your CEOs, whomever. But if everyone can take individual responsibility and accountability to share that link, we could do a lot. And so just share it. Share it right now. I'm hoping that everyone that's listening to my voice will share the link, right? And so everyone in the community should be saying, did you get the link? Did you get the link? Because this is how we create change.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, while the website itself for the survey is urbanleaguerock.org/interruptracism, we also do have the website interruptracism.com. And that's the link that we're hoping that will stick with everybody today and that you can share out with your network. So again, did you get the link? interruptracism.com. Another question we have. So you mentioned that you've got 30 days for a timeline. What sort of support do you need in getting the word out in that time frame? And also, when should people expect the final report?
That's a great question. So from today until July 5th, we'll collect the data. So we need a lot of help to share the word, because we don't want just the same old people getting the information. We want new voices. I see someone said, we just don't want to preach to the choir. We want to get more members. And so how we get more members is that everyone shares, and we share it in places that we don't typically share information. And so it starts with everyone's own circles. It starts in your home, sharing the link. It starts with your friends. Did you get the link? On your Facebook page, at your work, sharing it in your meetings, but share the link. But yes, we need help. In addition, we hope that it depends on how much data we get back, but the hope is that the Interrupt Racism team would be able to collect and synthesize the data and provide a report within 30 days after receiving all the data. So we hope to not close the line, but we'll stop. We'll provide the data that we received through July 1st to the Interrupt Racism team, and then they'll use the data that they received up until July 5th. I'm sorry, July 5th is the date.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Hawkins. We do have a question from Facebook. Are there going to be other webinars or information sessions about the Interrupt Racism platform?
Yes, and so William, we can speak more to that, but we plan to host town halls, weekly town halls about how we as a community can interrupt racism right here in Rochester. So stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. And it looks like those are all the questions we have from Facebook at the moment, but we also love and appreciate all the folks who are just saying thanks. Thank you for the partnership. Looking forward to hearing everyone's input. This is brilliant. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. This is a great program.
Effort. You know, the community got involved. We love it. We thank you all for your support. The best thing that you can do right now is share the link, share the hashtag, post it on your Facebook page, any of your platforms, speak to your groups, speak to your church groups. But we need them, as I said, the message is customizable. You can make the message whatever you want. You can sign on as a collaborator. You don't have to sign anything. All you need to do is say, I agree to share the link, and I'm sharing the link. If you have other ideas to help share the message, please do. Cause Collaborative, anything that you could do to help, I appreciate it. I want to thank all of our partners again, and most importantly, Rochester Institute of Technology. Thank you, thank you, thank you for making this possible. Thank you for your support, and thank you to everyone listening. We can't do this work without you. So you are the leaders of this. Please share the message, please get the word out, and please make sure that everyone has the link. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you for attending, and thank you for participating.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hawkins. So just a reminder, that's interruptracism.com. We also have the hashtag #interruptracism, and we do have images promoting the Interrupt Racism platform across all social media. If you are on Facebook, you can follow us at /UL Rochester. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Urban League Rock. We're also at LinkedIn at /UL Rochester. For those of you who are following us on Facebook, or you're wanting to promote the Interrupt Racism platform, we do have a branded Facebook frame that you can add to your profile picture, and it makes the declaration, "I will interrupt racism." Thank you all so much for being here today, and we look forward to bringing you more information in the future.
Let's interrupt racism. Thank you all. Take care.